Back on Inside Tennessee, Hugh, you brought up infrastructure, and it's important to the county. There is a little bit about this debate on, do you build it and then they come, or do you build it because you know they're coming? We know in the next 20 years, this county's probably going to see about 100,000 new people if the numbers bear out. Right now, the county has 2,000 miles of roads. We pave about 50 roughly miles every year. So you know, sitting at home, if you saw your road paved, you probably won't see it paved again in your lifetime.
Going to be a while.
That is where we are with infrastructure right now. What can you learn from cities like Nashville and Atlanta that have been overrun with people and don't have the infrastructure to support it?
Well, most importantly, we know, and I've heard from all of my commissioners and the community, that everybody's committed to trying to plan for infrastructure and look at things differently. As we look at, we're putting some money behind that, because it's easy to just say we're going to talk about it, but putting some money behind it. Recently, we've been working with the mayor's office in county engineering, and I'm not an engineer, so I'm going to tell you the layman's version at purchasing a road x-ray machine that we can use on county roads to determine the condition on them, so that if you have a road that is in pretty healthy shape, you're not going to have to do a full reconditioning.
Tear down of that road.
Tear down, so to speak. Yeah, thanks, Don. Whereas if you've got roads that need it more, it'll help us try to allocate the resources that we have right now better. Our goal is to get to at least 70 miles of roads right now, but certainly as we continue to look at the future, as we continue to look at our county finances and growth, is it possible that we need to take a look at revenues to try to continue to it? Because I tell you, people are going to continue to move here. We've got a really good economy. We've got a diverse economy and a great quality of life. And
Secrets out.
Yeah, you don't want to squash that by having us all living like we're in an ant house here.
But no one wants a tax increase either.
No one wants a tax increase, but you have to. And one of the other priorities that came out of our recent county commission planning retreat was we do need to this year take a good hard look at our county finances, and what does it look like? What are our revenues? What does our balance sheet look at? And what do we need to do for the future so that we've got funds available to make investments that will try to keep up with the growth? And that's another reason why I mentioned we talked about do we have tax incentives, because you asked me if you build it, will they come? And if you try to identify nodes and areas that you want to encourage growth, does it make sense to try to set up tax incentives to encourage people to build out there so that you can try to pace your infrastructure with future residential growth out there? And there's a lot of land in East Knoxville and South Knox County that I think you're going to see more of the growth coming in the future.
So on that topic, in terms of money and trying to find money and trying to save money, I'll circle back to one of my original themes, and that is consolidation. We're not going to have consolidated government here, but we have a lot of departments, as the city does, that it makes perfect sense to bring those together. And I hear everybody say that's a great idea, and then I never see anything done. And the school is a good example of having a consolidated system throughout the county, because people don't look much at whether they live on the county or city side. And many of us may live in the county and work in the city, or live in the city and work in the county. Is there any kind of task force or any reach out to the city side to actually get some movement on consolidating, paying your taxes in one office?
Well, when you mentioned that, Don, that was one thing. I was like, when I go to pay taxes, it's like I'm walking here and then I'm walking over to the other side of the building to pay both city and county taxes, and that's a great example. I haven't had the conversation directly with our counterparts at the city about where you can do additional consolidation yet, but I know that the public would like to see it. We've talked about consolidated government for years, and it's been put up for a couple of votes.
It's not going to happen. No, but we can have efficiencies like we have with the school board. And I would encourage you that we're about to get a new city mayor. Go walk across the hall.
We are, and it's a great time to see that. I think with new
leadership, let's get that task force up.
We got new leaders across our community in so many different organizations, and I think right now we'll look back hopefully in 20 years from now and think that this was a really important time where we saw new leaders in the city and the county and other institutions that led to really positive change for the future of our community.
Let me ask you this coming week, the board and county commission will be meeting to talk about the future of the AJ building, which is where all of the school system administration is located on Gray Street, prime piece of real estate. There have been talks for many months now, quietly with TVA, to move into the East Tower. Everything I hear says it's a terrific deal. Don't blow it and turn this down. What do you think?
everything I'm hearing is that it sounds like a great deal, but I haven't got all the details yet. So we scheduled a joint meeting with another example of us trying to work
Yes.
together, isn't it, Susan?
Absolutely.
So, so we've scheduled a joint meeting with the school board and the county commission for next week, just to have everybody to come together and get us all on the same page so that we can know all the finances. I know a lot of folks are talking, most of the commissioners and our school board folks have got full-time jobs and are not going to be there with all the finance people looking at it. So that's a reason why we scheduled the update, to get us on the same page and to talk about it. It's prime real estate. It could give us a chance to put that AJ building, which is a really cool building, back on the tax rolls, and as well as getting synergies of having a lot of the school facilities located in one building. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I was going to ask Susan, is the board agreeable to that, to move out?
I think the board is waiting to hear more information. So I have questions about what the cost will be and just what kind of deal it is. So I am anxious for that meeting on Wednesday to see where this leads.
And it will include parking too, as I understand it.
I mean, they've got parking with the building. TVA has parking.
Yes.
So.
Susan, we're going to leave you with the last word, but if you could see reading scores and graduation rates go where in the next year would please you as the board chair?
I would like to see at least a movement in our reading scores up at least a couple of percentage points. 3, 4 would be fantastic. It takes a lot to get even a % movement. So I would like to see that, and I would like to see our ready graduate percentage go up so that we have more graduates who are graduating with that ready graduate recommendation met.
Susan Horn, Hugh Nystrom, thank you both, and again, congratulations on your chairmanships.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you all for having us today.
Thanks so much.
Back with our talk around right after this.